Alright, this video has taken me a few weeks to make, and as I'm recording this, we're about a third of the way through Season 3. Fortnite is one of the most innovative and unique Battle Royale games ever. I would even say it's one of the most unique games ever made. At its peak, it was a fun and interesting game, and even now, we still get some fun items and weapons. I worked very hard in this video, and really hope you enjoy. Keep in mind, this is my first video like this, so if it sucks, then cut me some slack. If you don't want to watch this video because you don't like Fortnite, or it's too long, I would recommend watching that conclusion. Timestamps are in the comments and description. Also, keep in mind that this list is my opinion and not fact. I rank the seasons on my personal experiences, and yours may be different than mine, so don't think this list is fact. So with all that being said, let's get on to the list.
Season X is here, and the world is destabilizing fast.
Yep. Surprising nobody, I rank Season X as the worst season of Fortnite. The season had a lot of potential, but wasn't really executed very well. And before we go into the main reason I think this season is the worst, I want to talk about Rift Zones. As Epic Games puts it,
that alter your favorite POIs in unexpected ways.
So let's see what each of the Rift Zones did and how broken or not broken they are. So the first Rift Zone we got was Loot Lake. Although this wasn't technically a Rift Zone, because the name and rule of the Rift Zone would normally show up on your screen, I still consider it one because it had the little bubble around it, and it gave you an effect. This Rift Zone was pretty balanced and not broken, unlike the rest of the Rift Zones. All it did was made you have low gravity. That's all there really is to talk about with that, so the next one is Tilted Town, which is Fortnite without the Fortnite part. There's no building and no breaking, which is the two things that make Fortnite what it is. So, it isn't terrible, but still gets rid of the main things that make Fortnite what it is. I feel like this Rift Zone is cool in the sense you can only get specific guns there, which was to start location-specific loot. But this Rift Zone, in my opinion, ruined the Tilted area. Alright, the next Rift Zone was... oh no. Retail Row, but with zombies? Why do zombies go with Retail Row? And who thought it would be a good idea to put them there? I mean, we got Retail Row back, but now it's infested with zombies. So what's the point of even going there? This Rift Zone's pretty much ruined the Retail Row area, and I think most people would agree with me on that. I mean, you can go in there without being attacked by like 20 zombies. At least those zombies were stuck in the Retail Row area and couldn't leave. But we still had zombies in a ruined Retail Row. The next Rift Zone was very cool. It was Pandora, which was a collaboration with Borderlands. It made everything have a cool, like, Borderlands-y look. You also got free shield while you're in there, which was very nice. This wasn't that broken of a place, and was a cool collaboration. You would think that the shield would make it pretty broken, but it actually just made it more fun, because if you got, like, really low, it wasn't completely over. Alright, I feel like I'm taking too long on these, so let me just go quickly. Moisty Palms. Crouch to turn to props. Great concept, but also broken. Greasy Grove, which is now taco time. No. Gotham City. Batman in Fortnite. Cool. Everyone got the Batman glider went in there and redeployed on. I think it overstayed its welcome though because it stayed from the 21st of September to the end of the season, which is about a month, and it's pretty long for a crossover. Starry Suburbs, a ruined location that got rebuilt with stars and a golden tactical SMG. Tactical SMG was very overpowered, but otherwise this was a good Rift Zone. Destroyed Soccer Stadium. The soccer stadium south of Tilted Towers was destroyed due to a malfunctioning rift beacon, and now all the forged items from the past are back, including hot rocks, mushrooms, and chili peppers. And finally, the floating island. Kevin has returned, and the floating island is mixing motel and Loot Lake house on it. It's cool to see Kevin back and have the island go around the whole map again. That Rift Zone was pretty good. So overall, the Rift Zones weren't completely broken, and they did what Epic Games said they would, but they definitely ruined some locations for me, and kind of made them bad for the rest of the season. So yeah, That's pretty much Season X and why it's the worst season. I don't think I missed much, and... okay. I need to talk about the mechs. Who thought it was a good idea to make these so powerful? Like, seriously, it could fire 10 missiles at a time, and it was pretty easy to spam, so it killed anyone who came near it. It was split between 2 players, with one driving and the other one using the weapons. But if you use it in any other game mode besides solos, it didn't really matter. Even in solos, it wasn't difficult to switch between seats. While driving, you could jump super high and get across the map very easily. Also, if you stomped on buildings, you got materials, so the person could sit in the mech the whole game without having to farm. This thing was so overpowered. However, it did get a few nerfs and eventually was removed at the end of the season. The event was my favorite of all time, and definitely the best part about this season. At some point I'm going to make a video ranking all of the events, so I'll talk about it more then. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. So overall, the season was broken and just kind of ruined certain areas on the map and the mechs, and that's why I rank it as the worst season. Chapter 2, Season 1 was pretty highly received at first. However, after it went on, and on, and on, the season was pretty bad. The season lasted 4 months, or 128 days. The season had Halloween, Christmas, and Valentine's Day in it. And that's my main complaint. The season was way too long and did not have enough content. At first, the season really seemed amazing. A brand new map, swimming, and so much more. But then that was it. Fortnite has made us expect weekly updates, or at least some updates adding new things throughout the season. But this one had 6 updates, however only one of them had a new item, which was the harpoon gun. We also had side getting added, but that was barely used until just recently in Season 3. Alright, I'm talking about all the negatives, so let me talk about a few positives. The Storm King was very cool, and I hope we get more boss fight game modes in the future. Also, it's a good thing to have the zombies stuck in the middle island, so they can't attack you when you're not expecting it. Winterfest was good, because we got a free gift every day, and eventually even free skins. The snow on the map was interesting, but the snowstorms were a little annoying at times. And now I have to talk about the Star Wars collaboration. I really didn't like it. I think they chose pretty bad cosmetics, only stuff from the sequel trilogy. They even chose a skin from the new movie, and nobody even know who it was. They could have picked something different, but whatever. And then there's the event. Oh boy. I have to say it, the event sucked. It was the worst event ever. They hyped it up being an exclusive clip from the new movie, but first, they had to talk for like 5 minutes, and then showed the clip, and half of it was already in the trailers. I thought the lightsabers were cool, but there should have been one per chest, as if you played squads. If one person had a lightsaber, everyone did. The stormtroopers being around the map was good, and it was the first iteration of henchmen, but they have aimbot. Finally, we had Love and War. I thought the Search and Destroy game mode was good, and the challenge rewards are pretty good. The skins were alright, but a few of them weren't really that Valentine's Day-y. Like, what? Anyway, we didn't even have a storyline event this season, which sucked after waiting so long for the season to end. The reason I didn't put this as the worst season is we still got pretty much a brand new game at the beginning, with new mechanics and locations. It didn't feel like it ruined the game like Season X some felt like. But it was way too long, like way too long. So that's why I put it as the second to worst season. So far, we are not on a good streak. 3 seasons that are right next to each other are at the bottom 3. I feel like at this point, none of the seasons are necessarily bad, They're just worse than the other good ones. So, why is Season 9 number 11? I feel like Season 9 had a few overpowered weapons, and the rest that were added were very bad. Also, the Battle Pass, in my opinion, was the worst one ever. A lot of the skins were pretty much the same thing, and they were pretty weak and bland. A few of them were good, but most of them weren't. Let's get on to the main problem. Everyone thought the combat shotgun sucked at first, but when we learned to use it, it was the most powerful shotgun ever. The shotgun was definitely OP and too powerful. It could hit shots from pretty far away and fired pretty fast. The other guns were added were pretty bad. For example, the drum shotgun and burst SMG. They were alright weapons, but in the end game you definitely didn't want them. A few guns that were added that were alright was the Storm Scout Sniper, which was a very unique weapon where you could see the next storm circle, and I think that it was pretty balanced. We also had the Tactical AR, which was also pretty balanced and didn't do too much damage. Now the other OP gun is the Proximity Grenade Launcher. It was pretty much a rocket launcher, but it could home in on people and did around 70 damage. If somebody was hiding in a 1x1, you could just shoot at the top and they'd take damage. And then, something I liked about this season was the 14 Days of Summer. It was a good event with daily LTMs in Untitled, as well as challenges for free rewards. The event this season was one of the best, and definitely one of my personal favorites. An epic battle between a giant monster and robot, very epic. So overall, the season wasn't absolutely terrible, but other seasons were definitely better, and I don't really have anything else to talk about, so next one. Planes, Infinity Blades, Snowstorm. Those are my only 3 issues with this season, but they are pretty big issues. So let's talk about them. The planes at first were way too overpowered. They had a minigun on the front which could do a bunch of damage but eventually overheated. They could also go through structures and didn't take much damage while doing so. When they were destroyed, nothing even happened to the players. However, players eventually took 25 and then 50 health damage, which was a pretty good balance. In the 7.4 balance adjustments, planes couldn't smash through structures anymore, which in my opinion made them pretty balanced. So before I get to other problems, I want to talk about a few things I like this season. Zip lines are a great addition and are still even being used today. They were even better when you didn't take fall damage and had to choose to get on them. The overall Christmas theme of the season was very nice. The 14 Days of Christmas with a daily item was nice too. We also had the ability to unlock next season's Battle Pass for free if we did some challenges towards the end of the season. During the season, we also had the drift boards added, which were a very good vehicle and stayed till the end of Chapter 1, the only vehicle that stayed that long. We also had the suppressed sniper, infantry rifle, and the Infinity Blade, everybody's favorite weapon. Okay, time to talk about the Infinity Blade. It was only in the game for 3 days, but those 3 days were awful. The Infinity Blade was way too overpowered and dominated the game. It could be used for movement, you got 50 health per kill, and you had 400 total health and shield. It wasn't absolutely awful seeing it was vaulted 3 days later, but was still definitely annoying when it was in the game. And now finally I'm going to talk about the events this season. We had 2. First one was the Marshmallow event, which was amazing. It was the first concert and really showed what Fortnite could be. Then we had the Snowstorm, the worst storyline event so far. It was called the Snowstorm, and that's all it was. The map got covered in snow. The end. They could have had something a little better, but just a snowstorm? So yeah, that's what I thought about Season 7. Some things are broken at first, but when they got fixed, this was an alright season. This season, in my opinion, was great. but there are a few issues that really stop it from being higher, but I really want you to know that I love this season. The theme is good, the Battle Pass is fantastic, top 3 Battle Passes in my opinion. The new locations are very unique, but let me talk about a few issues. This isn't that bad, but I wish we were able to get both styles for each Battle Pass skin instead of just picking one. It was hard to decide on some of them, but I went Shadow for all of them, and kind of wish I got some of the other styles. I think another big issue is the XP. The XP this season was really bad, and we did not get enough challenges to help us get the full golden styles. 350 is a pretty high milestone, but with terrible XP and few challenges, it was extremely difficult to get there. I barely made it, and I grinded a ton throughout the season to get there. If people couldn't play that much, it was impossible to get even close to it. Another issue I have is the length of the season. Although it helped get the golden styles, it was still really long. I'm not complaining too much though. The first delay was due to the virus, the second was due to bug fixes, and the third due to the BLM movement. Otherwise though, the season was great. We got cool new items like choppers, crash pads, and the Kingsmen. I feel like the henchmen were a bit overpowered and could hit a lot of their shots when you weren't expecting it. And the mythics made it so some people go to a certain place and get a guaranteed good weapon, but I feel like the weapons are somewhat difficult to win due to the henchmen and other players going there, so if somebody got them, they earned it. The event this season was really good, and the water storm was very cool. I feel like the biggest issue with the event is not enough people were able to get into it. I personally made it in because I was on the game 3 hours before the event even started. However, there were over 12 million people, so I understand why so many couldn't get in. So overall, this season was pretty good, and all of the seasons from here on out were really good. It's just a matter of which ones I enjoyed more. Alright, Editor Bdog here. I forgot to talk about the Travis Scott event. It was absolutely incredible. I'm really excited for more concerts in the future. So just, here I am. I didn't forget it, okay? Season 8 is not often seen as a good season. I thought it was alright, but after looking at it, I realized how good it was. In this season, we got the Baller, Boombo, and the Flintlock, which are items that a lot of people still love to this day. For the first time ever, we also got a free battle pass as long as you did challenges last season. This made Hybrid the new default skin. Literally, they just ran around and didn't know what to do. It was pretty funny. I feel like the cannons, at first, were a little annoying as they crashed through structures, but over time they were pretty fun and were good for trick shots. The Ballers were a little too powerful, as you could just run around the whole game and jump out and kill the last person. The Ballers could also kill people and break through structures, but they eventually got nerfed. We also got reboot vans, which is weird thinking they weren't even added until Season 8, but now are a staple feature in the game. There were a few issues that I want to talk about. The Tier 100 skin was not very good. I feel like that would have been a good Tier 1 skin and Blackheart be the Tier 100 skin. Also, why did the drum gun get involved in it? Even though the tactical SMG would have been so much better. Like seriously, the drum gun Okay, I'm kidding. But I feel like the drum gun shouldn't have won because it literally got vaulted like the first week of Season 9. I feel like the best option would have been the bouncer, but I kind of wish we worked together to add the planar infinity blade just for fun. Those are pretty much my only issues, and they weren't even that big. I actually liked the event and thought it was pretty cool. One more thing I want to mention is the endgame ultimate. Thanos is back, and this time the Avengers are here too. This is one of my favorite game modes ever, and it was really good to see the Avengers weapons that can help take on Thanos. So that's pretty much Season 8. A great season with a good theme. However, some seasons are better. On to the next one. This season was a good season. We had a good battle pass and a spooky theme. The season made the Loot Lake House a floating island that eventually traveled around the map and exploded. This season was the first season that had an actual Halloween theme, instead of just a seasonal event. At the end of Season 5, Kevin the Cube went into Loot Lake, and everyone thought he was dead and wouldn't come back. But at the beginning of Season 6, he became more powerful, and lifted the Loot Lake Island up. Throughout the season, it moved around the map, stopping at different ruined locations that it made last season, and gained power from them. It eventually got powerful enough, and went back to Loot Lake, presumably to try and get the 0 point, which was underneath it the whole time. Instead, it blew up and sent everybody to the in-between, where they saw an endless void and a rift butterfly that brought them back to Loot Lake, which was now much different. That's the main thing that happened throughout the season. The event was pretty cool, and the rift butterfly definitely has an important role in the storyline. During the season, we also got the Fortnite event, which is pretty much my only issue with this season. We had zombies everywhere. It was in regular solos, duos, and squads, so there was no escape. But otherwise, the event was cool. We got nice free rewards, and a glitch that made it so you got 35 tears for doing a challenge. Guns that were added in the season were the quad launcher, which was a little OP, balloons, which are really fun, and the golden and purple pump, which are, well, were still in the game until Season 9, and then added back in Season 10, and then removed again in Chapter 2, Season 3. So, there isn't really much more to say about this season. It was really fun, and the Halloween theme was amazing. But some seasons, of course, were still better. This may surprise some people, but I put Season 1 at the number 6 spot. It was good, simple Fortnite. Nobody knew how to build, and pretty much everyone was a default. Little Timmy trying to win the World Cup didn't exist. So let's talk about it. Season 1 was the first season, and it had the first iteration of player progression. We had XP we could gain to buy things in the season shop, the first version of the Battle Pass, as well as different rewards earned for just getting to a certain level. The things that are earned this season were some of the rarest cosmetics in the game. We also had many iconic locations of the map, like Pleasant Park, Salty Springs, and Loot Lake. We had the first Fortnite Halloween event, with more iconic skins added like Skull and Gold Trooper, as well as the pumpkin launcher. That's pretty much all to talk about. I would put this higher, however I feel like other seasons had more content and better locations. This season is still amazing. Wait, how can there be an honorable mention when there's only been 13 seasons? Easy. Season 0. Season 0 was before any seasons, and lasted from the day Battle Royale came out, which was September 26, 2017, until the day Season 1 came out, October 25th, 2017. So not even a month long. All of the locations in Season 1 were there, but none of them had names yet. Otherwise, there was no updates during the season, so I didn't put it on the list. This isn't even really considered a season, but I thought it deserved a mention. Okay, next. Chapter 2, Season 3. The best season in Chapter 2 so far, and in my opinion, the 5th best season ever. As I'm recording this, we're only about a third of the way done, so my opinion of the season may change. Everyone thought the season would be bad, thinking there would be too much water. However, there is an overwhelming amount of water, and the water is going down throughout the season, so it isn't that big of a deal. The cars seem like they'll be good, and having them need fuel should be a good balance to them. However, I haven't used them yet, so I have no idea. This video will probably be out before they are, but I can't promise anything. Guns and items we've gotten so far this season are the flare gun, movable upgrade bench, and fireflies. The items are all pretty cool, and I think fire damage is a nice and interesting feature. Also, the flare gun being able to find nearby enemies can be very useful sometimes. The movable upgrade bench can be useful if you have a ton of materials and not very high rarity guns. The only issue I have so far with this is there's no 14 days of summer challenges. However, that isn't that big of a deal, and they could be added later on. Otherwise, though, the season is amazing so far. The theme is amazing, the battle pass is pretty good, the secret skin is hopefully not the secret skin, and we actually get a secret skin later in the season. That would be amazing, and I really hope it happens. And if it doesn't, oh well. I have really high hopes for this season, and I feel like when the storyline starts picking up and the event happens, it'll be good. Also, in the Battle Pass we have a ton of Rift-related things, which doesn't really go with any skins in the Battle Pass, which makes my secret skin a lot more likely. Anyway, I should just stop ranting and go to the next season. Season 2. Wow, remember that? I kind of do. It was a very long time ago, and it's when I started. It was towards the end, but I still got the wave emote, so I must have played a little bit. The season was very good, and sure, I could be biased. I probably am, but it doesn't make the season bad. In the middle of the season, we got Chunk Junction, Shifty Shafts, and even Tilted Towers. Unnamed locations that were added were Stadium and Motel. We also got the first Battle Pass, with iconic skins like Sparkle Specialist and Black Knight, as well as the Floss and the Worm emote. Throughout the season, we also got Christmas cosmetics, like Coning Elf and Merry Marauder. Whether you like the season or not, you have to understand, it's one of the most iconic seasons in terms of locations and cosmetics. And sure, I am nostalgic and like the season a lot, but this is peak Fortnite. This and the rest of the seasons are in the top 3. The main reason I wouldn't put this higher is because the rest of the season have more content, better battle passes, and amazing innovations. Okay, so before you go saying, Bdog, you stupid idiot, Season 3 is the best thing, and if you disagree with me, you should kill yourself. Shut up. Okay, look, this season was very good. Amazing, even. But I liked 4 and 5 better. The only new location we got out of the season was Lucky Landing, which stayed relatively unchanged until the end of Chapter 1. The theme was space. Well, the cosmetics were. I really wish they didn't do this theme in Season 3, so we'd get cool vehicles, locations, and mechanics. But it's okay. The Battle Pass was great, with Dark Voyager, Rust Lord, and knockoff John Wick. It's pretty hard to find information on what weapons were added due to this, and I don't really remember many things that were added. I know the Portivore and Guided Missile are added, but otherwise I don't know. Please leave a comment down below telling me what items I missed. From what I remember, the season was perfect. It was fun and enjoyable and not sweaty. I don't really think I have much more to say about this. It was an amazing season. I mean, what could I be missing? Okay, I have to talk about the meteor. The thing was amazing. Where is it gonna hit? Tilted Towers. When? I don't know, how about April 18th? Yeah, that turned out wrong, but it was still fun theorizing about it, and it was amazing seeing all the speculation around that time. It was very fun. It was a stir of the storyline, and it ultimately led to the destruction of the map. It revolutionized Fortnite and really changed the game forever. So where did the meteor hit? Okay, wait. I'm not going to tell you which season I think is better yet. I'm going to go over the storyline and then I'll tell you, okay? Okay. So the meteor came down and hit Dusty Depot, which surprised a lot of people. When Season X came, I was really excited to go back to Dusty Depot, but when I actually played, Dusty Depot is better. I'm sorry, but it is. It has more wood and loot, and yeah. Anyway, back to the story. From the meteor came Hop Rocks, powerful rocks that can make you jump high. Through Season 4, scientists were studying and taking away pieces of the meteor, and eventually, the Visitor, my favorite skin, comes out and begins his master plan. His master plan that is still going on today. Anyway, he starts stealing all the hop rocks and using it to power a rocket from a movie set. And then using the rocket, I don't actually know what he did with the rocket. I think he was trying to get back to the other 7, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, he made a massive crack in the sky, and for the rest of the season, different objects began appearing and disappearing due to the rift. And then, the rift causes some objects to come from the game to the real world. And Season 5 starts, and there's this stupid meanie spray painting the dirt burger, and then gets teleported into the Fortnite world. We don't see it, but the rift also causes the Moisty Mire area to become a desert. Fast forward a little bit, and from the rift in the sky, lightning bolts start coming down and eventually spawn Kevin the Cube. Throughout the season, he moves around the map and makes different ruin locations, and eventually goes into Loot Lake. And then, well, I've already talked about this. Both of these seasons are fantastic, and a revolution for Fortnite. I honestly don't know what to say about them. Some may argue that Season 5 wasn't very good, but I loved it. The locations, battle pass, and everything was just so cool. Season 4 also had an amazing battle pass, with Omega, one of the most iconic Hero 100 skins. Season 4 really felt like a revolution for Fortnite. So you may be asking, which is better? 4. Season 4, in my opinion, is the perfect season. A great battle pass, the first live event, the introduction of Playground More, and so many more monumental additions to this incredible game. I would talk about it more, but I'm probably going to make a whole video on why this time period was absolutely incredible. So again, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. I put Season 5 at number 2, however I was very close to putting Season 3 up there, and if I really thought about it, I may put Season 3 as number 2. But before I start talking about how much I love the game, let's do this. Fortnite was absolutely incredible at its peak. The memories I made then are something I'll never forget. And if Minecraft didn't exist, this would be my favorite game of all time. I just love the building aspect, which is a fresh take to Battle Royale games, as well as the goofy and cartoony feel it had. Fortnite lately has been trying to do a somewhat more serious take, and I think that's stupid, as this game was always meant to be a fun and goofy Battle Royale. No matter what Fortnite does, I don't think it can do anything to make it feel like the early seasons again. However, I do feel like this game will have a Minecraft-like renaissance, where a ton of people will stop playing and then eventually come back to it. And I feel like right now, if you haven't played Fortnite in a while, just try it. This season right now really feels like a breath of fresh air. It's just fun, and is really starting to feel cartoony again. Like, instead of using Molotovs, we got Firefly jars, which is really cool. And although I say that, nothing will feel like old Fortnite. But this season can make you new memories. And instead of me talking about how great it is, you should try it for yourself. So that's my opinion on all the seasons. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. I would really, really appreciate it. As always, thank you for watching, and I really, really hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.